Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanchari. Yamuna Tira Vanchari. Yamuna Tira Vanchari. Yamuna Tira Vanchari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Nitai Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Gantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Kori Vaishnav ki jai. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiriyet Shavtam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtanaha Hridayantasto Bhadrani Vidurnoti Suhasatam Nashtaprayasha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavti Nashtiki. Hare Krishna. So today we'll be covering Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 6th Canto, Chapter 5, Nārada Muni cursed by Prajāpati Dakṣa. So in the previous chapter, where we heard about the Hamskriya prayers offered to the Lord by Prajāpati Dakṣa, as how he satisfied the Lord, Lord appeared to him and gave him the benediction that he would be able to, have progeny as he desired, hundreds and thousands of, children, and also offered him Panchajani, the daughter of Panchajana. Asikni was the name, as his wife, so that, with her, he would be able to have so many children. So let's cover the very first verse, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 6th Canto, 5th chapter, verse 1. Shri Shuka Uvacha Tasyam sapanchijanyam vai Vishnu mayo prabhimhrita Haryashva samgyan ayutam Putram ajanayad vibhu Shri Shuka Uvacha. Shri Shukdev Goswami said, Tasyam, in her, Saha, Prajāpati Dakṣa, Panchajanyam, his wife named Panchajani. Why? Indeed, Vishnu Maya, Upabrahmitaha, being made capable by the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu. Haryashva, Samgyan, named the Haryashvas. Ayutam, 10,000. Putran, sons. Ajanayat, begot. Vibhuhu, being powerful. Translation by His Divine Grace S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Shri Shukdev Goswami continued, impelled by the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu, Prajāpati Dakṣa begot 10,000 sons in the womb of Panchajani Asikni. My dear king, these sons were called the Haryashvas. Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatadaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, from the previous chapter, we had many lessons where we heard how Prachetas, the 10 sons of Prachinbhari, King Prachinbhari, to be able to rule the planet, they went through austerities. So in meditation, underwater, they went through this meditation for how many years? 10,000 years. And when the Lord blessed them, Lord said that, yes, I like the way you 10 brothers cooperate with each other. So that was the quality. And Srila Prabhupada said that your love to me will be shown the way you would cooperate with all your other God brothers. So that was the instruction of Srila Prabhupada to his disciples, that the love towards Srila Prabhupada will be shown as how they cooperate with each other. And then they became upset as how trees had overtaken the planet, and they tried destroying, but the Soma, the presiding deity of moon, he stopped them and offered them Marisha, the daughter of Pramlosha, Apsara, to be their wives. And from her womb, they begot Daksha. And Daksha offered Hamsugaya prayers and satisfied the Lord. And from the Lord, he received the benediction to be able to lord over to be able to have progeny, because he was earlier generating progeny through his mind alone. So powerful he was. But he was not very satisfied because it was not increasing properly. So he went on through austerities. And we also went through the different categories of sannyas orders. Sometimes people take, incomplete sannyas. So that's what we also covered. So now, that was earlier. He was unsatisfied when he had generated demigods, humans, and demons through his mind. He was not satisfied because he did not see progeny, increasing as he had desired. And in this chapter also we'll see the same lesson. Man proposes, God disposes. And we'll see it with respect to multiple personalities, not just one. So here, in this particular verse, as is covered, the sons, Haryashvas, he begot 10,000 sons. And they were very gentle and mild. So I'll cover the events first. So events are, first, when he got these 10,000 sons, his instruction was to increase progeny. And you should perform austerity. So his instruction to his sons was to be able to increase progeny and to be able to have the right kind of progeny, you should perform austerity. Because by performing austerity, you will be able to have the right mindset when you increase progeny. And Srila Prabhupada also instructed, because in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that, as per the religious principles, if carried out properly, I am also, sex. So from that particular perspective, Daksha, instructed his sons. And the Haryashvas understood the order of, Daksha, their father, in this instance. And they went to, they went west near where the Sindhu River meets the ocean. And that place is known as Narayan Saras. And there are many yogis, they were meditating. There were many Paramhamsas. And because of the association, they were, bathing in the lake and in the river, as well as they were constantly performing austerities. They were purified. They were so purified that Devashi Narad got attracted. He said that these 10,000 sons, Haryashvas, these sons are performing great austerity and they are totally purified at this time. And they are showing the symptoms of Paramhamsas. And why should they be engaged in such a, get trapped again by Maya? Why should they go back to their, to increase progeny? Why should they engage in family life and so forth? They have already attained, the austerities and the purity that is performed by Paramhamsas at the current age. So this is in Satyuga, Krita Yuga. And he approached them and he gave them a metaphor, an allegory. So hearing that, Haryashvas were completely transformed. They decided they don't have to go and accept the family life, and they take to the order of sannyas and they attain liberation. Now Devashi Narad took this news to who? Daksha. Hoping that Daksha would be happy, right? And if he's distressed also, that would be good too. So it's like, in either case, it's a win-win scenario for Devashi Narad. So he went to Daksha, and Daksha lamented the loss of his 10,000 sons for the purpose, he had sent them, that it had been foiled by Devashi Narad. And he was lamenting, and at that time, Lord Brahma gave Daksha the proper instructions, so he was able to subdue the mind of Daksha. He was able to feel him satisfied. And so now in the womb of Asikni, Daksha, second time, he got 1,000 sons. And so these 1,000 sons he got, second time he got 1,000 sons. Haryashvas were the 10,000 ones. And I'm looking, Savalashvas were the 1,000 sons of Dakshas. And he gave them the same instruction he had given to Haryashvas. So Savalashvas, they went to the same place where their elder brothers had gone, Narayan Saras. And they performed austerities just like their brothers were performing. And they were so much more purified because they drank only water and they, for eating, they only used air. So they were even more purified. Now Devashi Narad was attracted by the younger brothers, 1,000 sons. So he approached them as well. And this time he didn't have to give so much of instruction. He said, the younger brothers should follow the path of elder brothers. So, you know what your elder brothers have done. And you should follow their path. So Savalashvas, they immediately understood the purport of what the intention, what Devashi Narad mentioned, and they decided to take sannyas as well and not follow their father Daksha's instruction to increase progeny, and then they went back. So they took to sannyas order and did not go through the family life as their father Daksha had expected. Now Devashi Narad took this news again back to Daksha. Now this time there was no Lord Brahma or any other personality to satisfy Daksha. And Daksha, hearing this, started lamenting, and his lips were trembling with anger. So much so he was lamenting that he almost fainted. And Devashi Nārada is standing, seeing all these symptoms. And Devashi Nārada is waiting that this is the right opportunity, right? Because when one is distressed, one can take to Krishna consciousness. Lord Krishna says, Chaturvidha Vachantam Jana Sukrita Arjuna Artho Jigyasi Arthatu Gyanishcha Bharata Shiva. Artho, the one who is distressed, can take to his devotional service. So, hoping that Daksha, is heavily distressed, now it is time for me to give him instructions. But before Devashi Nārada could give instructions, Daksha started calling Devashi Nārada different names, like a sadhu. That you are, in the dress of a sadhu, you are actually a sadhu. You are not a saintly person. You're just in the dress, and you cause distress to people who are not your enemies. And so he called, he's saying, and then somebody could say that Devashi Nārada is a very known personality, well-known personality, he is very pure. And this is where it says that, the mentality, sometimes the influence of material nature goes from one life to another. Daksha, then it says that actually I am sadhu. I am in the family life, but I am very saintly. And you are a sadhu. And what does that remind us of? Daksha's previous birth, where he was again Daksha, father of Sati, who was, the wife of Lord Shiva. At that time in the assembly hall, when Lord Shiva did not get up, at that time also Daksha had said that, he is so fallen, but I am very nice. And I'm not, he's putting all the scriptural references in his benefit. To say that, Lord Shiva is so fallen and Lord Shiva is so dirty, he's always covered with the ashes, and his company, his association is all the ghostly people, right? Personalities. So similarly, he is actually calling Nārada Muni a sadhu and himself a sadhu. Nārada Muni is not a saint. He's causing so much trouble to people who are not his enemies, while I am a sadhu, he is saying. So Devashi Nārada at this point is still there. Now imagine, someone is saying so many bad things about you, but you are still there. And he was just waiting, because the reason of his present and just waiting for Daksha, because he knew that Daksha is an intelligent personality. Hopefully his anger will subside and he would lament, saying so many bad things. But Daksha did not do that. So this is where, he was constantly lamenting, and he was calling, and he actually cursed Devashi Nārada that you would not have a residence anywhere in this world. So Devashi Nārada is cursed, yet he is standing there. And then when he realizes that it would not be, it would only disturb Daksha, Devashi Nārada left. And this is where the chapter ends. Now it's very interesting. You would wonder that Daksha's curse is effective, right? He has given this curse that Devashi Nārada does not have a residence. Srila Prabhupada supported it in his purport. And now, Devashi Nārada, much later, actually is able to give instructions to Kayadu and Prahlad Maharaj in a womb. There is a clear reference given in 7th canto that, Daksha's daughter, Diti, who was married to Kashyapa much later, she is not yet born, right? Haryashvas and Savlashvas, they were the first two, groups of sons. And they were delivered by Devashi Nārada. And afterwards, Diti takes birth, among other, girls. So there are 60 daughters that Daksha has. And Diti is one of them. And Diti's sons are, she is married to Kashyapa Muni. And her sons are Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksh. And Hiranyakashipu's wife, Kayadu. When Hiranyakashipu had gone to meditate, at that time, the demigods had attacked Indra and others. They had attacked his kingdom. And they were thinking of destroying the son who was in the womb of his wife. Kayadu. Hiranyakashipu's wife was Kayadu. Diti was his mother. So, here, At that time, Devashi Narada intervened. He said, no, there is a great Mahajan in her womb, right? Great personality. So all the demigods that circumambulated, paying, like respect to Prahlad Maharaj in her womb, and they left. And then Nārada Muni took her to his ashram, where he instructed her. So Nārada Muni did have a residence. So somebody could ask, how could he have a residence when Daksha had given him the curse? So there is a very nice reference, and this reference actually occurs in multiple places. So it appears in Narad Puran, in Skand Puran and Padma Puran. Just let me finish the reference, Prabhu, then you can ask. So it just so happened that when Devashi Narada, he heard about the pastime of Lord Krishna in Vrindavan with the gopis. He had that strong desire to be able to see those pastimes. So having received Gopal mantra from Lord Brahma, he meditated, he was, reciting and, performing the austerities. At that time, it just so happened that, Purnamasi, she became pleased with Devashi Narada. So she sends Vrinda Devi to Devashi Narada. And Vrinda Devi, she comes to Devashi Narada and says, "Oh, Devashi Narada, in your current body, you will not be able to see the pastime. But you have qualified yourself. You have shown the symptoms to be able to participate. So why don't you take a bath in Kusum Sarovar, and then it would be just perfect." So Devashi Narada, just following the instructions of Vrinda Devi, he took a dip in Kusum Sarovar. And when he came out as a gopi, Naradi gopi. And now his vision changed, right? He was able to see and participate in the pastime of Lord Krishna and the gopis. And at that time, Lord Krishna instructed Narad, who is in the form of Naradi gopi, that you should write Bhakti Sutra here in Vrindavan, one of the ones. So there is a Narad one, and there is a Narad Sarovar. Means again, near the Kusum Sarovar, there is a Narad Kunda also. So, hearing this instruction, Devashi Narada said, "But I have a curse from Daksha, that I cannot have a residence. And you're asking me to, write Bhakti Sutra here." So at that time, Lord Krishna revealed to him that Vrindavan is not part of the material world. It is a spiritual world, right? So Daksha's curse would also not be effective. And then there is another reference also given, that just like when the sun travels, right? We always see that sun doesn't have a stationary place from our vision, standing on earth. But in reality, sun is stationary. It is the earth that's revolving around its axis that we see that the sun is moving. From that perspective also, Vrindavan is a spiritual world, just like Sundays are given, goes from one universe to another universe. It manifests. So to the material world perspective, to the material universe perspective, the spiritual world seems to be rotating while it is stationary. And that is because of the Krishna's pastime. So that's why the pastimes, they go from one universe to another, just like the sun goes from one place to another. So it seems to be in constant motion. So from both perspectives, it's given that, the curse would not be effective, and if it's effective only to the material eyes from Daksha's perspective. Just like we see that sun is constantly moving while it's stationary. So this is where, Devashi Narada, near the Narad pond, Kund, he is able to bring Kayadu and give instructions to her and to Prahlad Maharaj in a womb. So this is the place where he does that. He also writes Narad Bhakti Sutra at this place, while he accepts Daksha's curse and continues to travel. And we always say Parivarajak-charya, the one who does not, an acharya who does not have a residence. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada refers that even I have been cursed because, the parents of my disciples, they have cursed me, so I do not have a residence. Just like Daksha, who was a parent of Haryashvas and Savlashvas, was cursed. Shishi Gauranitai ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai. Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Janant Kore Vaishnavind ki Jai. So yes, Prabhu, you had a question?
And when you were telling the story, you tell it nicely. You said Nārada brought their wife of Hiranyakashipu to his ashram.
Yes.
And so the question appeared in my mind, how did he get his wife away from Hiranyakashipu?
He did not get his wife away from Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu had gone outside. Okay. So the question is that Devashi Narad, protected her wife, Hiranyakashipu's wife, Kayadu, when the demigods were trying to kill Prahlad, who was in a womb, not knowing that Prahlad is such a great devotee. And at that time, how did he get Kayadu away from Hiranyakashipu? Hiranyakashipu was not present in his kingdom. He had gone to meditate, to get boon from Lord Brahma. So this is after Hiranyakashipu was killed, and Hiranyakashipu was angry. And at that time, he approached his spiritual master Shukracharya and asked him what should be done. Shukracharya instructed him that you should get the boon of being immortal, right? Or immortality, the boon of immortality from Lord Brahma. So Hiranyakashipu went, right? And he's performing this great austerity away from his kingdom. And then the demigods, they recognized that Hiranyakashipu is performing, so he's away from his kingdom. This is a good time to plunder. And so they decided, because they were made aware that his wife is expecting a child. And if Hiranyakashipu is so strong, creating so much trouble for the demigods, what will his son do? So they wanted to kill his son while he was still in the womb. But at the same time, the attempt was foiled when Devashi Narad appeared at the place. And Indra was holding the hand of Kayadu and taking her away. Devashi Narad said, "What are you doing? There is a great Mahajana. Even if you want, you cannot kill him. He's so powerful." And then Lord Indra, understanding Devashi Narad's word cannot be false, he immediately, left her, and all the demigods, they circumambulated her, paying respect to Prahlad Maharaj in a womb, and they left. And then Nārada Muni, he took her, said that till your husband returns, you can stay at my ashram. Now, how is he so confident? Because he already received the instruction from Lord Krishna, who said that, this place in Vrindavan, and specifically the way he stayed was Naradvan near Narad Pond. And there is actually a small temple there devoted to Devashi Narad. So this is where he kept her. Yes, Prabhu. Next question. Yes.
Thank you for indulging my question. This brings up I hope it's connected or related. You know how Rohini, Devaki, Yashoda,
Yes.
awareness of that
Yes.
they were carrying the Lord in their womb. So I guess my question is, did their wife of Hiranyakashipu have some kind of awareness that she was carrying Prahlad in her womb?
Yes. So what's the question?
The question is, obviously she was aware that she was carrying a child.
Yes.
But was she aware that she was carrying a great devotee of Krishna in her womb?
After Devashi Narad reveals, then she becomes aware of it.
Aware of it, so she actually became opposed to her husband at that time.
No.
In other words, you're saying no, she didn't.
She did become opposed to her husband. Okay, so let's repeat this. So
Great demon, and
Yes, her husband Hiranyakashipu is a great demon who wants to kill Lord Vishnu. And he has gone to meditate to get the boon of immortality. And the question is that Kayadu, did she become aware that the boy in her womb is a great devotee, and so she's opposing her husband. See, a mother is directly affectionate to the child, right? And this is a child and has been referred to as a great devotee of the Lord. So she is accepting everything as it's coming, just like Diti. When she was told by Hiranyakashipu, she approached, not Hiranyakashipu, she approached her husband, Prajāpati Kashyapa. So yes, Diti is a great devotee. Actually, in this particular case, she does become a great devotee when she goes to the ashram and hears the instructions of the Lord. And then later, Prahlad Maharaj reveals to his school friends that being a woman, she has forgotten the instructions of Devashi Narad. But I remembered in a womb. So that's what Prahlad Maharaj reveals. A mother is just affectionate. First, she is looking is the protection of the child. And in this case, the child is protected, right? And because of the influence of illusory energy, she forgets the instructions of Devashi Narad. And Prahlad Maharaj reveals that being a woman, she doesn't remember those instructions. And when you are in trouble, the only focus you have is how to get out of trouble. You may not be paying attention to so many of the details that happen at that place, right? So she was just happy that her womb has been protected. And Devashi Narad being a great sage, right? He's a sage among the demigods. That's how it's referred. So when he gave her protection, she took to the shelter of the saintly persons, Devashi Narad. And she wanted to make sure that her baby comes out nicely. And then when Prahlad is born, Devashi Narad, he takes her and Prahlad to Hiranyakashipu. And at that time, Hiranyakashipu is also pleased. Even though he knows that Devashi Narad is a devotee of Vishnu, he is always chanting on his veena, Narayan, Narayan, right? He's always chanting the holy name. Yet at the same time, even though he was troubling all the Brahmanas, did he act adversely towards Devashi Narad? Did he, towards Sage Narad? Did he say, oh, this is a devotee of Lord Vishnu, I cannot kill Vishnu, so let me at least get the satisfaction of killing the devotee of Lord Vishnu? Did he do that? No, he was actually grateful that when the demigods had attacked, they could have killed my son, but Sage Narad saved my son, right? He was feeling grateful to the same personality. Now, could you say that he was opposing himself? This is a devotee of the Lord, right? Was he opposing himself? He was not, because there is a scenario where he is grateful. So, because in the womb of Kayadu, there is a great devotee of the Lord, Kayadu, would she be opposing her husband? No, she is just looking to protect her womb, the child in her womb. Yes.
So, do we hear
Yes.
any reference or mention of Kayadu?
Elaborately.
Once Hiranyakashipu becomes aware that Prahlad is a devotee and starts to try to do away with him, does Kayadu appeal to her husband or come between them at all, or do we know about that?
Yes, actually in the purport, it's being elaborately said that as a mother, she felt, constant love towards Prahlad and also all other sons. And Hiranyakashipu actually forced her to bring poison and give it to Prahlad. This is a mother who has been asked to serve. So, what is she doing? You could ask, right? She's following the instructions of her husband. But then at the same time, she's praying. Would a mother ever pray that her child should die? No. She's praying that, Prahlad should not die. Yet at the same time, she has to follow the instruction. She's in a very perplexed situation. She is literally like, दो पाटन के बीच में साबुत बचा न कोई. So when there are two grinding stones, between them, nothing survives. Not just the wheat, but any covering of the wheat. Everything becomes flour. Everything gets grounded. She is feeling like that. Because on one side, Prahlad, he is fully determined to stay as a devotee. And there's Hiranyakashipu, he's fully determined now that my son, he's a devotee, so I should kill him. And she is in between those two getting grinded. So again, getting grounded in this case. So her condition is very perplexing, if you see, as a mother. And she's just trying to follow her husband as what he wants. And she's taking things as it happens. Just like Diti, as I was giving the reference, when Kashyapa Muni, he reveals that she had approached him at the wrong time, during the twilight time in the evening. And that's the time Lord Shiva goes out wandering with his, associates who are mainly ghostly personalities. So because of that influence, she would have two sons and both of them will be demoniac in nature. And they will be killed by Lord Vishnu. At that time, think of Diti, who knows that she will have two sons. First of all, they will be demons. She's very sad. But then, hearing that they will be killed by Lord Vishnu, that they will be killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and will be liberated, she is feeling somewhat satisfied. Two completely adverse thoughts. But at the end, she is somewhat satisfied. Yes. You have a question? Yes. So Kashyapa Muni is not a demon. Is that what you're referring to, or Hiranyakashipu? Which one? Okay, Hiranyakashipu and his wife Kayadu. Hiranyakashipu is a demon. Yes. Yes. No. So, again, there is a reference given of demons and daityas. And then there is daityas have an adverse party they consider to be adverse is Adityas. Adityas are, Suryadev, Vivaswan, and Varun Dev and Indra and so forth. And Vaman Dev was the 12th one. So they are sons of Aditi. That's why they are called Adityas. And they are devotees of the Lord. They say we are under the shelter of the Lord, we are just serving the Lord, and whatever He gives, we try to, carry out our duties. So they are in this material world trying to carry out activities as devotees of the Lord. Diti's sons are called Daityas. And they look at it and they say, just like today's materialists, the scientists, they say, oh, we don't believe in God, we'll do everything by our own power. Yes, Daityas are demoniac in nature because they are not the devotees of the Lord. They believe in their own strength. Just like today's scientists, they say, oh, Hare Krishnas, they're like, they're just dancing and chanting, they're useless fellows. And we are the real workers, while not realizing that they are more bewildered, and they're trying to spend their time in doing all the frivolous things and deride the supreme power of the Lord. So Daityas are in that state. That's why they are referred to as demons, because they don't take to the authority. And what they do is they become materially very powerful, and then they attack the Adityas and the demigods and snatch away, whatever their possession is. So you can look at it from the perspective of Vedic injunctions that Daityas are acting like plunderers, right? Not following the injunction of Shastras. Yes. One is a devotee and one is a non-devotee. Okay. This is very interesting. I was looking at some of the references in Skanda Puran. Their bodies were amazing looking personalities, While if you see demigods, in compared to them, you could literally imagine in current times, you see devotees, very sober, very kind, very humble nature. And then you see these materialists, very, bodily, very attractive looking, very strong bodies, muscular and whatnot, and really very attractive that way, like from the physical. So you think of a meek-looking, simple devotee beside this very charismatic-looking person, right? So you would say, whoa, this person looks really attractive. That's why demons, Daityas, they have great followers. A lot of people get attracted. But the beauty is skin deep. The strength is just, superficial. The true strength is that of the soul who is able to follow, right? As a devotee, the Lord and His mission. While they are saying, no, we don't believe that there is God and we are going to create our own world the way it should be. Hiranyakashipu did that. And let's also remember that when he took away, means when he got the boon from Lord Brahma, which was not the boon of immortality, but it made him so powerful that Indra, Varuna, everyone was in his kingdom paying obeisances, right, in his assembly. And he alone could carry out the activities of Vayudev, Indradev, Suryadev, so much so that there was abundance of fruits throughout the year. Not in the season. All the seasonal fruits actually happened throughout the year. There was no drought. He made sure nothing of that. Everything just happened as it's supposed to happen for the growth of the material universe. So his ruling looks amazing. And what was he causing at the same time? When everyone was prospering from material perspective, he was tormenting all the brahmanas, and he was saying, you should only give offering in yajna to me. He was calling himself to be the Yajna Purusha, that you should make all the offerings to me and not to the Yajna Purusha, which is Lord Krishna, right? And the demigods get strength, they share from there. So he wanted demigods to become more and more meek. So if you look from that perspective, yes, sometimes when we see the pictures of demons looking very ugly and very ferocious. That is reflecting their mentality. And then we see the devotees in a very charismatic paintings. In the paintings, they look like very beautiful personalities. That's showing their personalities, like, their mindset. That's to bring, because materialists, they would not understand it otherwise. Right? To make it clear to materialists, you want to show that these are the personalities, this is how they look like, because that's the mentality. That one is so sober, so humble, simply following the Vedic injunctions, while another one is so demoniac. They don't believe the Lord and they just believe in their own strength and they pick up weapons and become plunderers, literally, in the material world, and cause so much havoc. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so what you described is more like they can look beautiful. It's not just,
Yes.
but they can also have the bodies of ugly.
Yes. Yeah, they could very well have that. Yamdutas were described, and who are they associating with? Yamraj.
Prabhupada says depending on where you live, where the entity lives, they get the body of that environment. For someone
Yes.
who lives somewhere, that kind of body. Someone probably having kind of surroundings, not different body.
So, at this point, we have only covered the summary of the chapter. I haven't even started the chapter yet. Let me at least cover one important aspect. So you would be curious as how Haryashvas, got satisfied by what did they receive as instruction from Devashi Nārada. What did Nārada say? Nārada said to Haryashvas. So Devashi Nārada, he gave them, when he saw them, he approached them, as Harish was the 10,000 sons who performed great austerities, and then he actually gave them reference of 10 different things. First he said is, my dear Harishvas, you do not understand the extremities of the earth. And he referred to earth as Bhu. So Harishvas understood this that when he is saying the earth, means it's the field of activities. Bhu is the field of activities. And for the living entities, the body is the field of activities. So the extremities of this body can bind you in constant miseries of birth, death, old age, disease, and constant, repeated cycle of birth and death. So that is what is the extremities. So Harish shows, without having any other guidance, no one else helped them. Just by their own intelligence, and because they had attained such purity, they were able to understand this. And the second is, Devashinara says that there is a kingdom where a man lives. So the reference is given to Purusha. And in the whole, all the spiritual world and material world, there is only one Purusha, one supreme enjoyer. That's Lord Krishna. So in the spiritual kingdom, there is only one Purusha and everyone else has his energy, right? In material and spiritual world. So they understood that the one person, the one man who lives is, the Purusha is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then he said that, and there is a hole, right? Bil is the word given, hole, through which when one goes, does not return. So Lord Krishna, he reveals that one Tattva deham puna janma neti mameti sorachuna. So one who, leaves his body, remembering and being devoted to the Lord, goes to the Lord. So when he goes to the spiritual kingdom, he does not return. So that's referring to, and there is in the purport, Srila Prabhupada also reveals that when people had seen, when one falls down to Patal, right, Patal, the lower planets, they don't see that person return easily. So again, that's also reference. So there is positive and negative for this one. And then the fifth one is, when a woman who lives in a city, she is very unchaste. So it's referred to her that this woman, she changes her dress regularly just to attract others. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport went elaborately that in the Western world we see a lot of references where, women, they don't really cover their body properly and they expose their body parts just so that they can attract others with only one mindset to be able to enjoy or to exploit others. So, and she has a husband. There is a man who lives who is her husband. So Harishwas understood this, that this woman who is highly unchaste, who is a prostitute, is actually the, bewildered intelligence. It's the polluted intelligence that is there. And the living entity is the husband. So if you have, the husband is going through so much misery of birth, death, old age, disease, and repeated birth, death, constantly suffering because of the polluted intelligence. So one should seek to purify their intelligence. And then there is, in that kingdom, there is a river flowing in both directions. So the river is referred to as this material universe. And what is constantly happening? Creation and dissolution is constantly happening. So there are two ways. And then one who is caught in this creation, dissolution, constantly in this material world is, how would you escape if you're in the middle of a river that has water flowing in two directions? You would try to go to the bank. And then Devashinas, they understood, Harishwas understood that when they try to reach the bank, means this man would try to reach the bank, the waves are swifter at the bank. It's just unlike the real scenario. In the real, if you see a river, the waves are slower at the bank because they are facing resistance from the land. But in this particular river, it's swifter at the bank, so there is no possibility of someone coming out unless someone helps them from outside, right? So someone has to be outside and to be able to pick them up. So that reminded me of that picture where the devotee is raising their arm and Lord Vishnu on his Garud, he's coming to lift the devotee out of that bhav sagar. So it's very nicely given that to be able to come out, you need help from someone. And here Devashi Nārada is providing these instructions that don't get caught in this river of creation dissolution. And then there is a wonderful home made of 25 materials. And Supreme Personality of Godhead is the reservoir of those 25 elements. Right? You have the working senses, knowledge acquiring senses, the sense objects, and so forth. So the 25 elements have been referred. And then there is a swan that vibrates various sounds. And these are the instructions coming from the Shastras. There are various instructions coming from various bona fide scriptures, and all. What do they, tell as a unified message? That we should take to devotional service and get out of this material world. Go back home, back to Godhead. We are in a foreign land, and so far we will stay in the foreign land, and that materialistic mentality, the constant miseries will continue in our lives. And then there is the last reference given. The 10th one is that there is an automatically revolving object made of sharp razors and thunderbolts. And Harish was understood this to be the eternal time. Time and tide stops for no one. So this constant razors and thunderbolts, this object that's constantly revolving is time, and we are caught in this particular time. And time is an object that only exists in material world, material universe. Why we're constantly lamenting as humans about what happened in the past. We're constantly aspiring for the future. This is what we want to happen in the future, but we are missing out our present. We're losing our present. While in the spiritual world, everything is in the present because everyone is conscious. This is consciousness. Krishna consciousness is all about, this is how am I serving the Lord and how am I, continuing to serve better at every moment. It is said there is a constant competition going on in the spiritual world where the gopis, they look at Krishna and seeing him, they become more beautiful. And seeing them, Krishna becomes more beautiful. So there is a constant increase of their beauty. And it's always refreshing. So similarly, every step is a dance and every word is a song. And if it's increasing in melody, in sweetness and bliss, can you imagine how wonderful that is? It's inconceivable to our, material minds. But hearing these instructions coming from the Shastras, which is like the swan carrying out various vibrations, we can take to those instructions. So Harish was understanding the 10 objects referred by Devashi Nārada. And then Devashi Nārada said at the end, that how would you understand your instructions given your father to increase progeny? So they understood that he is referring to the scriptures, the Shastras as the father. Right? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, it's an incarnation of the Lord, right? So it's not different from Lord Krishna. So when we hear the instructions from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, those instructions are coming from Krishna. So we should take to those instructions. Direct reference. So they immediately understood Devashi Nārada is not talking about a seminal father Dakṣa. He is referring to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has appeared in the form of Shastras, and with the various instructions of Shastras, he is guiding us how to come back home, back to Godhead. So that's why in the disciplic succession we get the ripened fruit of Vedic knowledge as Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Right? And it's further sweetened because Shukdev Goswami has tasted it. Now how do you know a fruit is really sweet and really ripened? When a parrot or a bird has tasted, you know that is the sweet one. So it's coming from the mouth of Shukdev Goswami. It's so sweet. So you know this is the ripened fruit. And we should take advantage, relishing this fruit, following the instructions to go back home, back to Godhead. So Harish was understanding those 10 objects and understanding now that the Atato Brahma Jigyasa, so that particular aspect has been fulfilled. They have understood that, yes, what's the purpose of life? Is not to get entangled in family life, is to take to the devotion service of the Lord. They immediately took to that. So that's why they took sannyas and went away. So this is where man proposes, God disposes. They came to increase progeny, but then Lord sent his devotee and delivered them. Devashi Nārada went to Dakṣa hoping that he will be distressed, and distressed person is one of the 4 type of people who can take to devotional service. But then that didn't happen. Rather, he got cursed. And Dakṣa had given instructions to both his sons, Harishwas as well as Savlashwas, that you should increase progeny. That also didn't happen. So man proposes, God disposes. So that from 3 different angles happens in this chapter. as how the wish of the Lord is constantly ruled. And Parikshit Maharaj is hearing this from Shukdev Goswami. And he's saying that all three things are happening simultaneously. So Lord with one incident does so many different actions, and they're all auspicious at the end. So he is also, hearing these instructions, and he's feeling that even the curse that he will only live 7 days is actually a boon. Because I am relishing this ripened fruit, which is coming from the mouth of Shukdev Goswami as I am hearing it constantly, and my destination is well ascertained that I will be able to go back home, back to Godhead. Yet he is so much nicely engaged, he continues to ask questions. So in the next chapter we will hear about how Parikshit Maharaj inquires and Shukdev Goswami covers the 60 daughters of Daksha and then their progeny as well. Any further questions, comments? Gantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Kori Vaishnavind ki jai, Go Premanande, Hari Hari.